what they're doing for a lot of these Israelis who are flooding into the Mediterranean basin, and now, as you mentioned, Portugal is in their crosshairs. A lot of them are abandoning Israel outright. Some of them are just setting up a second residence, so it's kind of like a plan B if things go really to hell, and at any time they could go completely to hell in Israel the way it's behaving. Then they'll be able to just safely transition out of the country to their second residence. And some of them just use it as kind of like a vacation home. And maybe it's kind of like an insurance policy in their minds. But you get people across with different sort of priorities from the Israeli society who are trying to establish a presence in the Mediterranean basin in a European country. And they want to very much have access to the privileges of the EU. They want to have an EU passport. This is very important to them. And the number is really astonishing. I don't think the Israeli government has even been close to transparent about how big a problem this is. This is a huge problem for Israeli society. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the people who are the people who are leaving or who are establishing Plan B, which will enable them to leave if things get really bad, they're naturally going to be the people who are most mobile in Israeli society. And who are the people who are most mobile? They're the people who are the most highly educated, right? Those are the people who are going to leave first. And those are the people who have left in large numbers. So the long-term costs to the Israeli economy are going to be huge as a result of this exodus.
Good.
And by the way, when this genocide started, I actually wrote on my website a two-part article, a very long article called America's Unsinkable Aircraft Carriers Sinking. And in that article, I won't go through all of the analysis, but the conclusion of my article was that the way that this genocide would end would be that Israel would lose the demographic war, this demographic war that they've been talking about, the Israeli political elite, for so long. So many people would leave that it would no longer, so many Israeli Jews would leave Israel because of the consequences of their government's own depravity and lawlessness, that eventually there wouldn't be enough Israeli Jews there to control the indigenous Palestinian population. They simply would no longer have the practical ability to do it. And I believe more than ever that that's the way this is going to end. And there will be a single state. Whether they call it Palestine or Israel, it's going to be a state in which Palestinians are treated as full citizens. And anybody from Israeli Jewish society who can't tolerate that is going to have to go elsewhere.
Yeah, like the white genocided South Africans that are having to escape their persecution,
Exactly.
Otherwise known as "we don't want to live equally." Yeah,
exactly.
Well, according to The Resident, which is the primary newspaper out of Lisbon, thousands of Israelis queue in hope of Portuguese citizenship.
Oh my God.
Embassy system crashes due to pressure. This will give you guys an example of just how many people are lining up. Yes, very diverse crowd there. Thousands of Israelis waited in line outside cinema. Man, you can always tell when a person wrote this together. Outside. A cinema in the central city of Ramat HaSharon last Friday morning to book an appointment with the Portuguese embassy to receive citizenship or renew Portuguese passports. Carrying the above photograph of the snaking queue, Times of Israel described how the line stretched from the entrance of the complex down to its underground parking structure. After the Portuguese embassy announced that it would allow people to wait in person without advance scheduling to secure appointments for citizenship or renewing Portuguese passports in December and January. The embassy announced last month that it would be holding a special Old Times Are Back event, temporarily bypassing its chronically overloaded online appointment system, says the paper. News of the opportunity spread quickly, drawing far more people than the venue could comfortably accommodate, with people waiting in line all day long. Many arrived before dawn in hopes of getting a slot, while others turned back after seeing the immense wait. There are reports that the embassy system crashed due to the pressure, but the official word is that no one was left unattended. Turkish public broadcaster TRT World was among a number of other media outlets that carried the same story. Portugal recently announced that starting in May of 26, Portuguese passports will be extended from 5 to 10 years. However, those who lined up on Friday are still expecting to receive 5-year passports under the current rules. Times of Israel explained, referring to the surge of Israeli applicants for Portuguese citizenship began after Portugal passed its law of return in 2015, allowing the descendants of Portuguese Sephardic Jews who were affected by the 16th century Inquisition to apply for nationality. The paper also mentions the decision by the Portuguese government in 2023 to end the law of return policy on the basis that its purpose of repatriation has been fulfilled.
Yeah, these people that are coming there are not the Sephardim that were like banished during the Inquisition. These are not them. We have more of those people in Charleston. You know, like that's the problem. So if they're going to have to, I mean, I guess if you just have Portuguese Sephardic heritage, it's probably enough. I mean, I don't know.
They're trying to find a loophole within the law, obviously.
I just feel bad for Portugal. It's so beautiful there. Not for long. Not with these people.
Well, if there is some Sephardic that happen to be living in the West Bank or wherever, yeah, maybe they might have a shot. But these are mostly Ashkenazis.
Yeah, I don't know how they're thinking that's going to work. I don't know.
Bribery.
I don't know.
Dimitri, what else could it be?
I don't know what they're thinking either, man. Like I've said many times on my own program, whatever your ethnicity or religion may be, if what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people is something that offends you deeply and that you are quite prepared to speak out against, then you're welcome. You're welcome to my society wherever I may live. But if you support what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people, I don't want you anywhere near my society. I don't want you anywhere near my kids.
Yes.
I don't want you in my workplace. Like, get the hell out, man. So I guess the only thing I can say positive about all of this is that people who think in that way, even though they are a danger in our society, we're better able to manage that danger than the Palestinians are. The Palestinians are completely, helpless.
Oh, yes.
Almost entirely defenseless against this monster. So if this relieves pressure on the Palestinians, then, I suppose it's a good thing at the end of the day. They're much more vulnerable to people who think this way than we are here in the West.
That's true, but I'm going to NIMBY this shit because I'm leaving South Florida. There are way too many Israelis down here. I cannot be around these people. I just can't.
How do you see this ending? I don't.
He said, one state, come or go.
Yeah,
no, that's
but there's going to be a lot of steps along the way that are going to be very, very painful for first and foremost Palestinian people, but also for Jewish Israeli society. One thing I've come to conclude about Israeli Jewish society is that they're relatively pampered, and they have a much lower pain threshold than Palestinians do, because they live in a relative to the other people in the region. They live a very affluent life. They haven't seen.
They have no pain threshold. They have none.
Virtually none.
There is no pain threshold. These are people that gleefully attack women and children. And the second they're confronted by somebody who is even of their own size, they cry like the bitches they are, just like Ben Shit-Piro does.
It again.
Ben Shit-Piro. Would you like me to say it one more time?
You know what happens. We have a thing here.
Lil Ben Shit-Piro.
I haven't seen that thing before.
Out by a speed bag. I mean, what you know?
Yeah, if you
the question is, how did that
on this show we summon it?
How did that thing end up in your possession? That's what I want to know.
We have a longer version where the longer version is he actually sits there and he's like talking to the bag like he's trying to psych it out before, and then that's just the clip where he punches it and it hits him right back.
Oh man, that thing is gold. I gotta get myself a copy of that video.
Isn't it great? Our people love it. It never gets old. So it's funny, like everyone loves it.
Yeah, he is one odious human being, man. But I think more and more Americans have come to understand that, fortunately.